Welcome back. I won't even say I'm a broken record anymore, but the real estate market keeps charging forward. We're joined again by Chad Kritzas from HomeSmart Real Estate. Chad.
Good to be back.
Welcome back again.
Thanks.
Back in studio finally. It's been a while, but we're happy to have you here.
Thanks.
So as always, let's start off with, what has the market been doing over the last month or so, and what's the environment look like?
All right, so same story that we've been telling. Single family prices up 16%. Number of sales down 8%.
I think we actually have a slide, right?
Oh, yeah,
right here.
we
Yeah,
do.
if we can pull up that slide. There's some good statistics there.
So you see the sales numbers are up 16%. Sales numbers are actually down 8%. Interesting fact is, even through the shutdown of last year, the number of homes, the inventory is actually down 20% from this point last year, which is a very interesting statistic. Condos and multifamily, same thing, 16 and 17%. And the sales in those categories are up 4 and 11% respectively. So, as the single-family inventory drops, I think people are finding, condominiums as a secondary alternative.
Okay. You had mentioned something about that lack of the 20, well, not lack, so there's 20% less inventory this year than there was last year. And we thought last year wasn't a great year, and we talked a little bit about that. What do you think that might be contributed from, possibly?
I think, there's probably a little bit of a rush last year when people started putting their stuff back on the market. It actually, when I read this statistic yesterday, that was actually a surprising number to me, that the inventory is that far down. And in pretty much all categories, condos down 38%, and multifamily is down 33%. The multifamily market's really, taken off this year. The prices that we're seeing and the
and
bids.
that's more for people that are investing, correct?
Investing, some people say, well, I'll buy a 3-family, I'll live in one and I'll rent 2, but that's not always affordable in this market either, mattering on where in the state you are. But the multifamily market is leaps and bounds of where it was a year or 2 ago.
Yeah. All right, so for people that are, entering this part of the year, which are the holidays, sometimes for the normal person like myself, I'd be like, let me just pump the brakes and I'll wait till Christmas is over or whatever. What would you say to that situation? Is that something you should do, like wait till after the holiday, or? That's
a common thing. Or give me a call after the first of the year, give me a call in the spring. So there's 2 parts to that. First off, you get about 10% more inventory in the spring, typically speaking, historically, which means if you're waiting till the springtime, your neighbors are waiting till the springtime as well when they mulch their beds and the grass is green. So you may have 3 signs for sale on your street, whereas this time of year you have none. Like we're listing a house today, and there's 1 house in the price range in that town for sale.
Wow.
And that house is drastically overpriced, so this house should sell, probably by the time we leave here. Yeah. So, the inventory being down 20%, the fact that it's winter is still a great time to sell your house. Last year we had no snow. The year before we had the 2 blizzards, so we shut down for February. But the inventory stays so low this time of year that it's a great time to sell if you're comfortable, doing contracts and having people in your house for around the holidays.
So like in that situation, I think, you mentioned this and I didn't really even think about it, but if you're just going to have less competition right now, and people still want to move and do some different things. One other thing, and this is more of just like a fun thing. If you're, well, maybe not. If you're actually selling around this time, if you're still living there, do you put Christmas lights up or not put Christmas lights up? Yeah,
you can do Christmas lights. We have a neighbor we call the Griswold, so I would say, and I'll say that to their face. We're not talking because they'll probably see this. Yeah. Don't go to the extreme with the 43 blow-ups and the thousands and thousands of lights, but still, decorate, enjoy the holiday, but just keep it kind of.
I'm a 43 blow-up guy myself.
Are you? Yeah, I can see that.
Enjoy them. So,
so I would not do that if we were going to sell your house. I'd probably come over with a BB gun and fix that problem for you.
Funny. All right. So, what's the most common type of transaction in this market right now that you're seeing? Like, where is kind of saying, hey, that's what I'm dealing with more often than not? Like, what sort of situation or range?
You're seeing a little bit of everything, right? The first-time home buyer market could be, a first-time home buyer right now could be paying $450 for a ranch, and I was joking around with you the other day on the phone about that. So it's, that market, then you have kind of who's selling that ranch, right? So they have 2 kids, they want to stay in the same school system, so they're trying to upsize into, and I'm using, let's say, Portsmouth as an example. Yeah. The 500 to $1 million range, which there's so little inventory, because now, you have this, they're trying to get into a bigger house, but there's less inventory in that category, and they find a buyer. I was actually talking to somebody in the studio here today who just put his house under contract and is trying to move up into that next price point, and there's nothing for sale in that town. Okay. So it's kind of a catch-22, because you have the buyer, but it's like, where are you going? So the seller is who? Is the seller someone who's become an empty nester usually? Like now their family has left and they need to go to a smaller house? In that price range, predominantly, yes, I would say, right? Like, I just bought a house, let's say in August in Portsmouth, and it was the same thing. Their kids were my age, they'd moved out, they were in this big house by themselves, So that neighborhood specifically is a lot of turnover of just empty nesters selling to younger families.
Okay. In a perfect world, you could flip-flop, right?
Right.
You could say, hey,
You swap.
I need a bigger house, I need a smaller house, and flip-flop. But usually that person who says I need a small house, they're looking for a higher end, maybe house that's, you know, not a starter house. So,
Yeah, or ideally they bought, you know, like this scenario, they bought something a couple years ago in Maryland to be closer to their family, and they spent a couple years renovating.
Yep.
So they just happened to be in a perfect storm where they could move and sell all at once without having to worry about what they were going to find.
Gotcha. All right, so let's talk about kind of the empty nesters, right, that are looking to kind of go elsewhere. And, you know, tell me a little bit of, you know, what can you add to that relationship of, you know, like what's happening in that area? Like, are there any examples that you have to say, hey, listen, here's what you can do as an empty nester that you might be able to add some value as a real estate agent?
Well, having the right real estate agent obviously is number one. Number two, you have to have a network. And we sold a house nearby, and you know, the guy said, well, I want $1.1 million or I'm not selling. And I said, well, we need 50,000, or I didn't know the number. I'm not a contractor, nor is that my specialty. But I said, you know, you need to do this, 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 and this. Yeah. So, you know, I said, well, let me have a guy come over tomorrow. I'll take a look. We get a quote. And he said, what do you mean you have somebody that can come over tomorrow? He said, you know, you try to get a contractor to come work at your house right now. It's, you know,
impossible.
Call
right?
your painter. It's like your electrician there. Yeah, I'll call you in August, you know. So having a network of people that I can call and get over to the house to get the work done, to get it on the market. Like we were trying to get in for, let's say, June, but we didn't make it till August because it was so much work. But he still sold in a very short amount of time, and he got his $1.1 million. But it's because he did the work. If half his porch was still rotted, he wasn't getting $1.1 million.
But the point being is that if you find yourself a good, you know, agent, that person can kind of hook you up in a sense with people that might be able to get there faster rather than just an individual calling for contractors. You've got those relationships, like other real estate agents might have them. So you want to make sure that your agent has those relationships to call on, because you're going to feed that contractor business, and they're going to want to be attentive to you. So I think you know, that being a good part. All right, for that other person that's downsizing, many times when they downsize, they want to move somewhere else.
Right.
And do they usually use the same agent, meaning that if you were selling the house for them, is it usually the same agent that's now trying to help them find a house to buy?
If they're buying locally, then yes, because we know the nuances of their contract, we know their timelines. So for their inspection period is very important, you know what's going wrong, so you know everything. If they're relocating out of state, it's also important with mattering the company or the agent. We have good resources all over the country, so I can make 2 phone calls and find you an agent in Tampa, Florida, or Southern California within a couple of minutes. So you just need the resources to be able to find a good agent quickly, because you can't go by the big search engines that start with the letter Z all the time, that have very historically inaccurate information. So you need a good feet on the ground that are going to help you out.
So what, has that been like years in the industry, or is that automatic? I mean, how can someone say, well, listen, I'm going to do this? Are they interviewing you and asking you those questions? I mean, where does that come into play? Like, how does that person realize, hey, Chad's the guy because I want to move to Florida? Is it that you've been in the business for a while and you've probably done a pretty good job networking and saying, hey, I don't just have a name, I've got some very reliable resources and I'm going to help you get this done?
Right, like any other business, right? The longer you're in the business, the more resources you have. So, I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it, I've been doing this over half my life. So I've established relationships in certain parts of the country. Like we were down in Boca 2 weeks ago, looking at opening a sales team down there. So, we built that whole market already up, and we have a sales team ready to roll down there. Right. So, if somebody said, hey, I need to go there, I actually have an agent that works for me there. So it's easy to kind of establish those things fairly quickly.
Okay. Other people that are not other people, but take, for instance, again, people that are downsizing, are there any other things they should be aware of? So number one, finding an agent that might be able to help them get some things done faster, might have good relationships with other agents geographically in other areas. Is there anything else you can kind of think of that is an important piece?
Yeah, we hadn't really talked about it, but yes, talking to your accountant ahead of time. Because what will happen is a lot of the time you'll see, like, if they're moving to Florida, they might change the residency to Florida before they leave. Okay. Now, disclaimer, my license doesn't cover tax law. However, the contract says an out-of-state resident pays an extra 6% of the proceeds to the state of Rhode Island. Okay. So having your lawyer and your accountant lined up, or we can line them up for you, but just making sure you don't change things like changing your residency to Florida before you leave town. It's going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a question, this is coming from me, but I've heard other people say it too. A lot of times when an older person goes to sell their house, their family members are so sentimental to this house. Like, for instance, I'll take my mom, right?
Yep.
She probably needs to downsize, but because my sister lives out of town, and when she comes in, she stays there, and because we got so many memories there, she's kind of stuck there.
My mother was the same way.
What can you kind of tell that person to say, listen, it is okay to do that. Like, I mean, do you have some experience with that? And if you do have the personal experience, how do you actually get out of that to make the right financial decision and the right decision for you, not necessarily people that aren't always at your house?
Well, I can't make somebody sign a piece of paper to sell their house,
Yeah.
but I think, you know, a lot of the time you'll see deferred maintenance is the #1 item. So if you go to your mom's house and you start seeing the bushes are out of hand or the rotted wood, you know, I started showing up and the door frames were, you know, rotted because they weren't having the contractors come over and replace the rotted wood. So deferred maintenance is really a good sign of that when it's time to downsize. But that's also a time when you make that decision to do so, we have to have the guys that are available to come in to replace that door. So you aren't getting hit with, you know, huge inspection items, which are always a big issue. Inspections.
Okay. And have you ever been able to change someone's mind to do that?
My mother's, unfortunately, yes. You know, from Massachusetts to Narragansett, she got to live by the beach. It wasn't terrible.
All right. Well, as always, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks,
we look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Awesome.
When we come back, we're going to take a look at your financial checklist for the end of the year. Stay tuned.